What's up, beautiful people? Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room. Yes. All right, guys. You have lovely old me for another Wellness Wednesday. I'm super excited about tonight's guest, but I'm going to allow the 3 minutes for you all to get in here first before we jump into it. So, like last time, I want to start the live off with some positivity. So, if you could go ahead and drop some positive affirmations in the comments, positive quotes, whatever it is you need to put down, whether it's a quote or affirmation. I just want to see positivity in the comments right now. So, go ahead and put something. I would love to come back and read them. And who knows, somebody else may need to see exactly what you are writing down. Like, you know what? I need that positivity. I need that love. I need to feel that energy. So that is why I want you to put it in the comments. But as you all are coming in, make sure you tag your people, tag your friends. And I want to say in advance, congratulations. I am so proud of you for still showing up. The fact that you are here tonight, listening to the sound of my voice, shows that you are still connected and you are still at this thing. So, yes, it is week 6, and we are, slowly but surely making our way to week 8. But I want you to know while you are on this journey, just do your best. Continue to do your best. I see so many of you posting all the time about you getting your workout in with your accountability partners, and some of you even graduated to E2M Premium. Make sure y'all check out those contests that we have doing too for social media. Just want to put that in there. It just came to mind. But some of you graduated to E2M Premium. Some of you are in the E2R running group and you're running, which I just love it. So continue to post, continue to stay connected, and continue to go after your goals while trying to do your best. And understanding that your best looks different every day. Looks different every day. So this week's theme is eager to say I can, if I'm not mistaken. Eager to say I can. So I want you to continue to say I can do this. Whether I go at a fast pace or slower pace, I can do this. I will do this because we're here to get better. And, we can't get better if we don't put in the work. So I'll allow like 30 more seconds. I'm super excited about tonight's guest. I'm going to let her, uh, you know, introduce herself as far as what she does in the community and her career. But I'm super excited because she's actually someone that I've known since 2009 at Winthrop University. She's actually my DP, my dean, my Delta mama, whatever you want to call it. Patience. I'm super excited to have her talk to you tonight. So yeah, I think it's time we can get started and get rolling. What's up, beautiful? Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
how are you? How are you
I am
doing?
good. I'm good. I was telling the good people I have my dean with me tonight. So
Yes,
we go
yes.
way, way back.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So if you could, patient, just let everybody know who you are, a little bit about what you do, and a little bit about your E2M journey.
Yeah, so my name is Patience Riley. I am a licensed professional counselor. I work with clients in Georgia as well as Nebraska. I'm a military spouse, so that's where Nebraska comes from out of the mix. I'm also certified in perinatal mental health. So essentially, if you think about like trying to conceive, pregnancy, postpartum, post loss, post adoption, like mental health challenges that happen there. I volunteer with the organization and also am on staff now with Postpartum Support International, and we support parents on that journey as well, aside from my little private practice that I have. But I'm also a proud E2M member. I joined E2M in January of 2022. I joined on the very last day of signups. And I think that's always important when I think about my E2M journey itself. I had a 2.5-year-old, y'all, and I had a 4 month old. So I was postpartum. I just kind of graduated, I would say, from the postpartum group last August because I was still nursing. And
Mhm.
my husband was deployed when I joined. So
Mhm.
I shared with Alicia before a little bit about how E2M is a big part of my healing journey as well, because I was dealing with some mental health challenges in my postpartum period, and E2M was a part of my coping, and it really, really helped me out with my mental health and my physical health during that time. Because My husband was gone. I had a 2.5-year-old and a 4-month-old. And so when I talk to my clients, I pull in all of those things because I lived it as well. So I was actually practicing what I was preaching.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So that's actually the question that we have for you tonight, definitely catering to what you do. And I want to help our mommies, our postpartum part of mommies in the group. I know that we have a separate subgroup for them, but I think, having more knowledge out there about that demographic is so important. So I'm going to start off with our first question is, why is it beneficial to incorporate movement or fitness into your routine when postpartum? When you're postpartum.
Yeah, I find it extremely important, especially if you find movement and fitness important to you. But when we think about it, your body was going through a lot and your body was housing another person for 9, 10 months, and then your body still may be nourishing that person. There might be kids climbing all on top of you. So when I think about incorporating movement and incorporating fitness in regards to the mental health aspect, it's also about the things that you can control. And so, what you can do, you can control how much you move your body. You can also control what you put into your body. So, when we think about the overall fitness, because I know our coaches talk about all of the benefits. So, we know those benefits. It helps us with those happy genes, it makes us feel a little bit better. But also, when your body has kind of been growing a life, and it might feel like you don't have control of the other things that are going on around you, especially as it relates to that. Fitness can be a really good way because you can control how often you're moving and what you're taking in and that relationship that you have with your body. So give some control in that area to spread it out to other spaces.
I love that. Good answer. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all take these notes. All right. My second question is, how is movement fitness linked to improving self esteem or your image for new moms who have had a lot of changes to their bodies?
So again, we have a lot of changes, especially when you are pregnant. You
Hmm.
have a life that's in there. And so your body is probably going to look different. Um, Regardless of whether your size kind of goes back to what it was previously or whether it changes. A lot of my clients will say, hey, I'm back to like even if they make it back down to what their previous weight goal is, they're like, my body looks different. And so sometimes having to battle with like that self image, that self esteem. What does my new body look like now that I am pregnant, or my body look like now that I'm postpartum? Can be a little challenging. So, with movement and with fitness, I look at it as us doing an act to have a better relationship with ourselves. So, when we are having relationships with other people, what do? We interact with them. So, we go out and do things, we have dates, we go and spend time together. I look at working out and fitness and movement as you spending time with yourself. So that is something that you are doing as an act with you. And we're trying to not only make our bodies a nice place to be in, but our minds a
Hmm.
nice place. And in order to improve your self esteem, image, concept, you have to spend time with yourself. And movement can be one of those things, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's doing yoga, whether it's doing the circuits, whether it's just carrying and wearing your baby, me and my kiddos, they're in a Spider-Man stage. So we do a lot of Spider-Man stuff. Um, but improving that self image is actually doing something to care for you, because when we're developing those relationships with other people, we're interacting and doing activities to engage and be around them. So, doing that same thing with yourself can help you feel a little bit better.
I like that. I do have a question too. So I know you work with a lot of postpartum moms. Do you work with parents or moms before they have their kids so they can kind of, I guess, pre-prepare their so they won't have to deal with all of those, I guess, those thoughts of being like, oh my gosh, look at my body now. Like, do you kind of prep them to that stage? And I
Mhm,
say that, I mean, granted, I don't have any kids, but I know for when I did my show prep, right? And I
mhm,
got down super, super low in weight, but there was something that's called post show depression that I learned about before I even completed my show. So I was like aware of it. So when I caught myself, gaining that weight back in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so big where it's like, girl, you're not even back to you. It's, I'm still like 125. And when I'm used to being 145, but in my mind, because I look so different, but it was like I was able to catch it because I learned about post show depression before I even got to that stage, like after my show. So,
mhm,
is there something that you talk to the new
mhm,
moms about? It's like, okay, well, this may happen. Let's go ahead and see what those signs are so you will know how to
mhm.
identify them when they come. Is that something you do as well?
I do when that is something that they're concerned about.
Okay.
And so, one of the things that I like to also talk to my clients about is just the various changes. And so, body is huge, right? Because your body, so we already talk about like the changes that their body is already going through. And how do you feel about that? Because some folks are like, I love this. This is great. And then it's like, well, let's think about in the postpartum time because some folks love their pregnancy body. Some people do not like their pregnancy body. So
Mhm.
we're already kind of doing some of the work then to talk about how do we feel about our bodies? How can we deal with those changes with our bodies? How can we love the skin that we're currently in the changes that our body might go through? Because sometimes it's more about that contentment within the changes that we have to do that inner work with.
Mhm.
I think it's helpful because they're already working with me on some of that. So we
Yeah.
are doing a little bit of that prep
Yeah.
and the education. And there's another concept that it's called matrescence or matrescence. And essentially, matrescence is the time period of becoming a mother. How adolescence is like the time period of teenagers becoming an adult. And so I'll provide some education around that of like, hey, right now while you're pregnant, going into postpartum, this is the time period that you're currently in. So you're learning how to become this person. And so linking it back to E2M, this is why I love, probably a spoiler for the very last week, how you talk about who you're becoming,
Mhm.
falling in love with who you're becoming. And
Yeah.
so I really try to work with my clients on falling in love with who they are becoming. And this means their minds, this means their spirit, this
Yeah.
means their body. This means how they think about themselves, how they talk to themselves as well, because matrescence is that time where you need to be falling in love with who you're becoming
Yeah.
because you're just adjusting to that motherhood stage, just like a teenager is adjusting to adulthood. So I provide a little bit of that psycho education beforehand of how you may also be grieving your past body, your past life, your past experiences, and just trying to link it all together. Um, but I'm there, right there with them, helping them and supporting them.
Okay, I love
That's a
that.
great question.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Question. What were I think I'm number three. Yes. I have two more questions for you, so we'll get there. We'll get through it. But these are really great. And I feel like it's like again, it's information that people really need to know. But working out with a new baby can be challenging. What are some tips for incorporating movement into your routine, especially if you're experiencing mom guilt?
Yeah, this is one that I hear a lot of like, I want to do this, I want to do that. However, just feeling really guilty about taking time away from the baby or not, or just having it be really, really difficult to melded in together. So this is where I think we have to look at our expectations of what is movement. Like I know that we have our circuits, I know we have a schedule, I know we got our ab routines and this, that, and the third. But sometimes just thinking about our expectations, where if one day what your workout is strapping the baby on and wearing them and walking around your house, that's movement. If you're going for a walk outside, if the weather is nice, I know that it's summertime, that's still movement. If you can only complete 2 rounds of a circuit because then you have to jump up, you got to feed the baby, that's still movement. Like, so kind of adjusting our expectations and realizing that you can also work out with your kiddos too, and you can turn things into a game. I used to do walking in the jungle, going around the house with the little people. And some of the things that I'm sharing, I had to do with my kiddos. Like my cardio when I first started, it was January, it was cold, it consisted of me strapping the baby on and walking around my house so that the baby wouldn't cry. I was, instead of using weights sometimes, I was like holding the baby up, doing the baby as weights, or with I don't know why I'm blanking on what it is. Glute bridges. I was putting the baby on for glute bridges, you know, and he was the weight instead of having another weight on top of me. So incorporating your kiddos can also help, especially if you are feeling really guilty about taking that time. However, that time is so important for you. So I would just like to encourage you to, like, little spurts here and there of getting some movement in, just because taking care of you is so important with taking care of your kiddos.
Yes, I love that. All right, and last question. How can movement have a positive impact on parenting?
Yeah. It's one of your ways to cope as
Yeah.
well. Personally, for me, like I said, E2M was a really big part of my healing journey.
Mhm.
It was one of the ways that I coped. I was dealing with some undiagnosed postpartum depression, and it was one of the ways that it got me moving as well. And it allowed me to take some control over a part of my life because some of the other parts I had no control over, right? Well, with fitness, with movement, with trying to develop different skills to take care of ourselves, we're also teaching our children that. We're showing our children that it's okay to use this as a technique to improve your overall health, to improve your mental health as well. It's just an additional tool. Um, that's why I love seeing Kiki like pop on
Mhm.
camera. My little boy is the same age as her, so he used to see her and point to her. I think he thought Alicia was his girlfriend. Like he it's like they really do get involved.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see, like, our children sometimes adopt the habits, the routines, the behaviors that we have. And if we're wanting to instill in them some of these habits, one way is modeling.
Yeah.
So, modeling is a great way to help out your parenting journey by showing them these are some things that you can do. I'm listening to the mental fitness coaches and I'm incorporating that. They see me getting on these lives or watching the recording or saying these affirmations, that the coaches are asking us to say while we're working out. And you can even have your kiddos do that with you. So
Yeah.
you're like teaching them these behaviors so that when they become older children, they become teenagers, they become adults, they've already started incorporating these things into their life and they're not trying to catch up. They have some of those healthy coping skills and tools just by watching you. So
I love that. Yes, you got to leave by example because the kids are watching, honey. But
they
thank you.
watch.
Listen.
Like they
But
watch.
thank you so much, Patience. Again, let people know how they can, learn more about you, your Instagram, your handles, all the things.
Yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram at Whoa Mama, WHOA MAMA_blog, Whoa Mama blog. And I am also on LinkedIn and Facebook. On LinkedIn, I'm just underneath Patience Riley. Facebook, I have the same handles as Instagram. I do have a blog. I have a monthly newsletter that comes out where I share just some mental health tips for folks, especially as they're becoming new parents. So if you're interested in any of that information, check me out. I'm on there.
I love it. Well, as always, I'm super proud of you and continue to tackle this E2M journey. Look, she done bought some people in the E2M, so keep
Uh,
keep spreading the word. Get your
yes.
people in here. But I love you always. And guys, remember, again, you have the contact information. If you want to learn more, make sure you check her out. And if you did not know that we had a postpartum subgroup, we do, and we have Coach Marissa that's in there, who's very knowledgeable, that's always dropping gems and always dropping these great workouts to do, especially if you need a little bit of modification. But make sure you check that out. But again, guys, I love you so much, and I appreciate you. And I will see you Thursday for cardio hit and Friday for our circuit. All right, guys, love you. God bless.